Hi everyone, it's svgcoop.com with another training video for you using Photoshop to finish up our Subway art project. Today what we're going to do is we're going to do some Photoshop, but we're also going to jump into Illustrator because what I want to do is create a bordered outline, and I want to create some lines that will go in between my art, but I want them to be a nice dashed, rounded dashed line, so that's what we're going to use Photoshop for. So once you have your project open, just do File, Save As, and save it as a JPEG, just the right size that it is. You don't need to really change anything. And I'm just going to hit Replace because I had already saved mine. And hit OK. Then we're going to go to Illustrator. And I opened up a new project, and it's 16 inches by 20, which is the same size as our Subway art. And I'm going to go to File, Place, and we're going to place that JPEG in the image. So I'm going to hit Place. And instead of clicking and dragging, which we do often when we use Illustrator, I'm just going to click once. And when I click once, it will automatically load the image to the size that it is originally. And it happens to be just the size I want, so I'm going to leave that like that. Then I'm going to go to my Layers palette, and I'm going to lock that layer because I don't want it to move when I'm creating my borders and things. Then I'm going to create a new layer. There's a little button on the bottom here, and you want to make sure that it's highlighted so that now we can draw some things on here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get a double-lined border. So I'm just going to drag out a rectangle. I dragged out two by accident. And the first one, I want it to be, since we're 16 by 20, I'm going to make it 15 and 3/4 by 19 and 3/4. Then I'm going to draw another one. My mouse is being funny today. I'm going to draw another one, and I'm going to make this one 15.25 by 19.25. And I'm going to change the color to red just so I can see it. I'm going to grab my black arrow tool, select the white, shift select the red, and I'm going to align them vertically and horizontally. Then I'm going to go to my Pathfinder tool right here, and I'm going to subtract or minus the front. Okay, so that's going to give me my first wide border that I want for my Subway art. Okay, but now I want another rectangle, so I have this little one that I created by accident, and I'm going to make that one 15 by 19. Then I need one more. And I'm going to make this one 14.75 by 18.75. And again, I'm going to change the color to red. I'm going to click off it. With the black arrow, I'm going to click the red, shift click the white, align them horizontally and vertically. And then I'm going to go to my Pathfinder and hit minus front, so that now I have two lines here. So I'm just going to select both of those and align them. What I want to do is I'm going to align to the artboard so that it will be right where I want it. And then I'm going to align vertically and horizontally. Okay, and don't worry that it's going over your artwork because we're going to move this back over to Photoshop when we're done. So we have a nice border here, which I like. Now what I want to do is I need to draw some lines in here. I want to have some lines separating the different sections. So I'm going to grab my line segment tool, and I'm just going to, when I hold down the shift, I'm going to start dragging, hold down the shift key as I drag. Oops, hold on. My mouse really is being funny today, I'm so sorry. Grab my line arrow, I'm going to start dragging, and if I hold the shift key, it will keep my line perfectly straight. So in this case, I think I want to come all the way across. Now don't worry if it runs over your words or anything like that, because we'll be able to still move that. So I want to change my stroke to about a 10. And I'm going to click on the stroke options, and I want to make sure that the cap is rounded and the corner is rounded. Then I'm going to click on the dashed lines, and I have mine set to 1 point dash, 12 point gap. And I also have it align the dashes in the corners because that's going to make it so that your dots at the ends are round. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see this. So you can see the line that we made. It's a nice circled line. So I want that. I'm going to zoom back out. And I'm going to actually make my stroke white so you can see it, because that's the color I'm going to want it to be anyway. Alright, so we have this one, and I want to create another horizontal line a little bit lower here. So I'm going to hold down the Alt key and drag my line down. And I'm just going to come down to about here. And I don't want my line to be as long as this one, so I'm just going to go to the corner and I'm just going to make that shorter. Make this one shorter. If you hold down your Shift key, it'll keep your line straight as well. Okay, so we can kind of go like that. And don't worry again if it goes over your words, because that's okay. And I'm going to hold down my Alt key again. I'm going to make one more. Move this one down here. Oh, my mouse is not playing nice today. Okay. And this one I want it to be a little bit shorter as well. And let's see. Right about there maybe. But I think I'd like these two to be lined up, so I'm going to Shift select both of those and line them up on the ends together. Just going to move this out. Let's see, about there. Okay. So now I also want a couple of lines going down. So I'm going to grab my line segment tool. And again, I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to start dragging and I'm going to hold the Shift key down to make it straight. And you can see I have the same settings. So we're actually pretty good to go here. I'm going to do another one. And you can see you get these automatically where it will line things up for you. So I'm going to start there. And oh, my mouse is not nice today. I start Shift dragging down with my Shift key, and then let go. And let's see, I think maybe what I'll do is I'm going to add another little one in here, because I think I'm going to put something else in here. Let me just do that for a second. Not sure what I'm going to put in here, but we'll figure out something. So I'm just going to drag that. Bigger. Okay, so I'm going to just zoom back out, and I have some of the things here, and it looks like my lines are pretty good, but I want these to kind of look like they're connected, so I'm going to zoom back in for a second, and I don't want the distance here to be so far away, so this one I'm actually going to drag this to the point where it connects with the other line. And then I'm going to drag this one down where it connects with this line, so that now you can see it looks like it's fully connected. There's no bigger gaps. Now this one, if I start to drag it up ahead, it's not going to fit exactly. So I'm just going to move over a little, and I'm going to drag it up until it connects to that line. But I want to move it over so that it lines up exactly. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom here. Okay? So that way it looks like it's all part of one piece. And I think, let's see, maybe what we should do, I think I'm going to move this one over so that ends there. I'm going to drag this one to line it up with the same. And then I'm going to make another one. I'm just going to start here and drag down. Except for my mouse is not playing nice. I'm going to just drag this down until I get to the bottom here. So that way that closes off a little bit. Okay. And just zoom back out and see how it looks. And let's see. I think we need one that's coming up this way. So I'm just going to click on this one. I'm going to hold down my Alt key, and I'm just going to drag it. And if you see how that moves, I'm just going to edit, undo, rotate. Let me zoom back in. I'm going to drag this up, and I want it to come to almost the top section here. Just going to do that there. But I obviously don't want it to come down into this section, so I'm going to grab this little square here, and I'm just going to come back up until I connect to the line. And there we go. Okay, so I'm going to zoom back out and hit Command 0. And that looks pretty good to me. And like I said, I'm going to have to figure out something to put in here. I could put an image in here or something. And I'm going to work everything else around it. So what I'm going to do is go back to my Layers palette. I'm going to turn the eyeball off on the one that has the image. See how it's got the image? I'm just going to turn that off. And I know you can't see the white lines or anything, but they're there. And what I want to do is I'm going to do File, Export As, and I'm going to call this Lines. Actually, I'm going to call it, yes, 100 lines. And I'm going to save it as a PNG. That means that there won't be any background associated with it. So all we'll get is the white part. So, and I also want to make sure I do use Artboard. And I'm going to hit Export. And then just hit OK. Now we're back to Photoshop. Now what we want to do is we're going to do File, Open, and we're going to grab that PS100 Lines PNG. I'm going to hit Open. And you can see my lines are there. And now I'm just going to click on it and drag it over to my artwork. And you can see now I can place this on here. And I'm just going to, it's about where I want it. But I don't want it to be on top of everything. I want to move this layer down to the bottom. So with it selected, I'm going to use my Command left bracket, and I'm just going to keep hitting it until it goes down to the bottom. I want it to be on top of the chalkboard layer, but I want it to be under everything else. So right now I have it, if you look at my layers palette, you can see that it's on the very bottom. So now I'm just going to hit Command right bracket until it's right above my chalk. Okay, so we're almost done. Now it's just a matter of moving things around and sizing things so that your art is just the way you want it. And let's see, I want my Dr. Seuss quote, I think, to be a little bit smaller so it fits in the area. And really, it's just a matter of playing with it at this point to see how you want everything. So once you change sizes of things, you can change the sizes, but then you have to make sure you don't forget to double click on it after you change the size so that it will let you do something else, because otherwise it will keep you from doing it. Now let's see, I think what I'm going to do is maybe what I'm going to do is just going to move this over. And like I said, I'm just going to keep playing with it until it's exactly the way I want. When you're sizing things and you're going from the corner, make sure you hold your Shift key down to keep it proportionate. If you don't want to keep it proportionate, then you can just drag from anywhere. And then, like I said, don't forget to double click on the inside after you change the size of something so that it accepts the change that you made. So I'm going to just move that over. Double click, and then I'm going to click on my pounds because it's a little too big. Just going to shrink that a little. Down, take up a little bit, and maybe I could put, another image in here. Looks like I forgot to change this line, but you know how to do it, where we can make it go all the way across. And like I said, at this point, it's just a matter of making it pretty. So, I hope that as you work on your Subway art, you have lots of fun and use lots of ideas. There's so much you can do with it. I'm not going to finish this project, but you can definitely play with it. If you have questions, please certainly reach out to me, either through the website or through email. I'd be happy to answer your questions. All right, well, thanks so much for watching. This has been fun, and we will be back with more videos.